What's up viewers, Eric from BeatSonic. Today we're going to be installing a navigation and DVD motion controller to this 2018 to all the way to current Lexus LS series. And the part number that we're going to be installing today is the STN7028. This is also going to be a plug-and-play installation. It's going to allow the factory DVD player to continue to play even while the vehicle is in motion for your passengers. At the same time, all the grayed out controls on your factory infotainment system is now going to be accessible while the vehicle is driving. So you don't have to pull over to the side just to get and enter destination and so forth. So it's a very useful product to install on your Lexus LS, and this is also compatible with all the newer generation Lexus series, and it's pretty simple to install. So let's not waste any time, let's get in the vehicle and get started. All right, now that we're in the car, we're going to start from the passenger side. We're going to first remove this big panel piece, and then we're going to pull all this out, and there's going to be a little clip holding it over here on the corner. So we're going to just slightly pull the panel that's under the steering wheel. We're going to pull it out so it gives enough space to pull this whole middle piece out. So let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to grab a panel removal tool like this and just put it under here and just going to start pulling it out. And what I like to do is once I get some good leverage where I could put my finger inside, I would just pull it out slowly. All right, that should be enough. You could go ahead and take it all out if you want. And then I'm going to start slowly pulling the big centerpiece out from here. Okay. So I just reach out and just pull this panel piece towards me just so I could release the clips. That gives enough room for me to pull this whole middle piece out. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I just realized that this is actually 3 pieces. I'm going to see if I could just pull the bottom piece out over here. I want to leave the top piece on here because the left side panel piece, it looks like it's under the cluster cover, and I don't want to remove the cluster cover. So just carefully work your way to the right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just press in the top panel piece back in, and we're just gonna remove the bottom piece over here. All right, and there's going to be one connector behind here that you need to disconnect. Just press down on the tab and just pull it out like this. All right, the next step is to remove this, and all the connectors are going to be behind this. We see 2 10mm bolts up here that we need to loosen. It's very difficult to access from here. So to get a better view of it, we're going to remove this piece. All right, now that we got that out, we see our 10mm bolts. It's up here. So we're going to pull those out and they should slip out like this. All right, so what we have to actually do behind the radio are remove these 2 10mm bolts on the top. These 2. And then we also have to remove 2 8mm bolts from the side of the radio. This one right here. Okay. And then we have it on the driver's side as well. There it is. Then after we remove those 4, this is ready to come out. Before we take it out, we're going to lay a thick blanket over here so we could set this radio on top of it. All right, so this is like the furthest I could pull the radio out. It's a bit difficult to work in such small space. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out the connectors from here, from the side. Just be careful when you're pulling it out. Let's do it one by one. And make sure you push down on the tab while you pull it out. Don't pull on the actual wire. Okay, and don't forget the last connector on the side over here. All right, there we go. So we removed all this. And then let's go ahead and get our kit and do our connections. All right, so just so I could explain it to you better, I'm going to explain it from the radio side. And first, go ahead and get a small flathead screwdriver like this, or a little pin set will do. We're going to use this to break the connectors apart because we're going to have to do that. But before I do that, let me go ahead and explain. So you have these 3 connectors behind the radio. Well, there's many, but these are the 3 main ones we're going to focus on. This is a 28 pin right here. This is a 30 pin. This is also a 28 pin. Do not connect anything on here. So we're going to keep this like factory. Do not alter this one or anything. You might get it confused with this 28 pin connector. Make sure you do not get confused because you can actually short the radio if you make a mistake over here. So this 28 pin connector and this 30 pin connector is what we're going to focus on. And first we are going to work on this 28 pin connector. So let's get to the harnesses. So take note of which connector is which. This is the 28 pin connector. This is a 30 pin connector. It's another 28 pin connector, but this one is the one that you ignore, okay? So we're only going to be working on these two connectors. And then going back to our harness over here, you'll find two T harnesses. The one with just the green wire like this is the cable B. And we'll call this one the cable A, the one with a lot of other colored wires on it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to locate the 28 pin connector and then go ahead and grab your cable A. Okay, and then go ahead and grab your flathead, small thin one. This is probably the largest it could get. Any larger it won't fit in between the little holes. And then go ahead and locate this part over here. You're going to gently just push it in and just break this part apart like this. Okay, and once it comes apart like this, go ahead and open this little case here from cable A. All right, and then grab the bottom half or bottom two rows from the vehicle, and we are going to connect it like this. Be very, very careful. Take your time. The pins are very delicate and it can easily bend or break, so just be very, very careful. And then go ahead and grab this case and we are going to close it up just like that. And after you do that, go ahead and grab this top piece here and we are going to mate it like this. All right, so this cable A part is finished. Okay, so we are going to work on the 30 pin connector now. So for this one, we're going to break apart the bottom one, okay? All right. So we have it open like this. And once we have it open, grab your dummy connector. And we are going to stack this on top of the bottom connector. Just like that. And then grab the bottom half and we are going to connect that to our B cable with the case. So let's go ahead and open the case. Okay, and go ahead and match it and put it in like so. All right. And put the case back on. Just be very careful once again during this whole process. All right, there it is. Okay, and next step is grab this piece and we are just going to mate it. And while you're mating it, make sure everything is very straight. You do not have to force it. If it's not perfectly straight and you push it really hard, you may break the connector. Okay, just like that. All right, so we got all the connector part completed. The next step is we are going to connect all these connectors back to the radio and reverse order what we just did and we'll be finished. But before we do that, if you notice, there's a little bit of pressure, strain, because this part over here where we reconnect it to our factory connectors kind of pulls a little bit, and when putting it back into the radio, these connectors, it might be a little bit more difficult. Everything's so cluttered together. So we are going to remove some of this factory electric tape just so it gives us a little bit more room and a bit more slack, because we don't want wires being pressured or pulled. So let's go ahead and take this out just to relieve some pressure. And if you want, if you ever decide to remove this kit, you can always retape it with another electric tape. So it's not a big deal to remove some tape from these wires. All right. The wires will be a little bit more happy just because it has a little bit more movement now. Okay. And with this, we're going to put everything back, and we also want to mount this in the back. We went inside to the right, and then there's some room. There's really no need to double-side tape this. You can if you want, but I went ahead and just kind of wedged in on the side, and there's no movement or play. So let me get these harnesses a bit organized and ready to be plugged back in. Okay, so we tucked the little connection point in the back, and we brought out the part that connects to the radio, and all the other connections that we have to make to the radio as well is out here. All right, and when you're putting it back and connecting everything back, make sure to not miss any connections and everything goes back. Because if you forget something, then something may not work. Well, something will actually not work. Okay, and how you route the wire is very important when you're reconnecting all the factory connectors, because if you tangle them up or go a certain way, the reach will be longer. So just keep that in mind when you're plugging all this, and if you feel like the cable is short, maybe you're just not routing it the most optimal way. All right, let's go ahead and put this back inside. Okay, and then there's one connector for your climate control. Make sure you have it out, or else it's gonna get buried behind the radio. So that's it. We are going to reverse order everything, test the unit, and that will complete the installation process. So we'll do that now. All right, so we went ahead and finished putting all the panels back together. Everything is good. It's working. I already tested it. And let me show you how it works. So while you're driving, if you want to override, or if you want to bypass the controls so that you could access all the controls while driving, all you have to do is go to your phone button and press it 4 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2 beeps you heard means that you are now in the bypass mode, and once you're done using whatever you need to do, and if you want to deactivate the bypass, you go ahead and press it 4 times again. And then now your bypass is deactivated. Say that you activate the bypass, you turn off your vehicle, turn it back on. You do have to turn on the bypass again if you want to access the control while driving. So that is the default mode. So let's go for a test drive to show you how everything works. All right, so as you can see here, normally you will not be able to do this, play DVD while driving, but it's working because of our kit. This is good for your passengers, especially for longer road trips. Keep them entertained, or your kids entertained while you're driving. And say that I want to enter a destination. Before, this would be grayed out, but now everything is unlocked. So I could go ahead and select and enter destinations where before you were not able to. Another thing you can do is you can actually have the navigation showing on the right side while the DVD is playing on the left side, as you can see over here.
In half of a mile, make a legal U-turn.
Alright guys, well that was our installation and demonstration video for this Lexus LS of our STN navigation DVD in motion controller, which is also compatible with other new Lexuses. If you have any questions, drop a line below. If not, you can also shoot us an email at info@bsonicusa.com. And if you haven't already, please give us that like and also subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.